was standing at the reception bar when my sister Lauren looked at me like I was dirt on her shoe. "Why are you even here? You're embarrassing us in front of important people." Her husband Trevor laughed. "She's a nobody. Always has been." A tall man in an expensive suit paused mid-conversation and turned toward us. I didn't know it yet, but that man was about to flip everything. "My name is Grace. I'm 34. I've spent most of my life being the family's invisible daughter. The one they didn't talk about at dinners. The one they forgot to include in group photos. My sister Lauren married into wealth. Designer handbags, country club memberships, a house with a 3-car garage. My brother Daniel runs a real estate firm with family money. He's loud, confident, always talking about his next big deal. And then there's me. I'm a freelance architectural consultant. Not flashy, not dramatic, but stable. Respected in my field. I worked quietly, traveled for projects, lived modestly but comfortably. I wasn't on magazine covers or driving luxury cars, but I'd built something real, something that didn't need their approval to exist. I accepted the wedding invite for my niece Brooke, hoping maybe, just maybe, this time would be different. Maybe they'd finally see me. I was wrong. If you've ever been pushed aside by family, subscribe right now and tell me where you're watching from. Because what happened next showed me I'd been waiting for the wrong people all along. The rehearsal dinner was the night before the wedding. I walked into the venue and immediately felt it, that familiar tightness in my chest. The room was beautiful, string lights overhead, white roses everywhere. But I wasn't seated with family. I was in the back corner, at a table with distant acquaintances and vendor staff. Lauren didn't even look at me when I arrived. Daniel smirked. "Oh, you actually came?" I smiled, kept quiet. During the speeches, Lauren stood with a champagne glass and toasted the people who really mattered in Brooke's life. She named names, friends, relatives, her yoga instructor. Not me. I tried to congratulate Brooke privately afterward. She was polite, gave me a hug, but it was distant, stiff, like she'd been coached. Later, at the gift table, Trevor's voice carried across the room. "Let me guess. Grace brought a gift card again?" I'd actually brought something I'd spent weeks on. A custom architectural sketch of Brooke's childhood home. Hand-drawn, framed, something meaningful. I handed it to Lauren. She glanced at it. Her lips curled slightly. How quaint. "Brooke's getting real gifts tonight." Guests nearby turned, smirked. I felt my face burn. Then Lauren did something I'll never forget. She handed the sketch to a passing server. "Put this with the vendor thank yous." The server looked confused but took it. I stood there frozen, humiliated. That's when I noticed him. A silver-haired man in a tailored navy suit, standing near the bar. He was watching the whole thing, and he was frowning. The next morning, I woke up to my phone buzzing. Instagram notifications. Lauren had posted photos from a private family brunch. The caption read, "Only the real ones." I wasn't invited. Didn't even know it was happening. I texted her. "Was there a brunch this morning?" She replied an hour later. "It was for close family. You've been so distant." I stared at my phone. Distant. I'd been distant because they'd frozen me out for years. But somehow it was still my fault. At the ceremony that afternoon, I was seated in the second-to-last row, behind family friends, behind Brooke's yoga instructor, behind people I'd never met. I watched my sister cry during the vows, watched Daniel walk Brooke down the aisle with my father. No one looked back at me. During the reception, the MC announced family introductions. "Please welcome the mother of the bride, Lauren." Applause. "And the uncle of the bride, Daniel." More applause. I waited. Nothing. They skipped me entirely. A cousin sitting 2 tables over whispered to her husband, loud enough for me to hear. She doesn't really count anyway. I gripped my napkin under the table, breathed slowly. Then Daniel appeared, suddenly friendly. Hey, Grace. How's the consultant work going? I blinked. It's fine. He sat down, leaned in like we were close. I'm working on a major commercial development. Might need some help with design layouts. Could throw some small tasks your way. I recognized it immediately. He wanted free work. Architectural advice and designs he'd normally pay 15 grand for. I kept my voice even. I'm booked right now, Daniel, but I can refer you to someone. His smile dropped. Figures. Can't even help your own family. Trevor walked up, heard the tail end. That's why you'll always be a nobody, Grace. No vision, no ambition. I felt something shift inside me. Not shame this time. Anger. Cold. Clear. I looked across the room and locked eyes with the silver-haired man from the night before. He was standing with a small circle of elite guests, but he was watching me. What they didn't know was that I wasn't just some small-time freelancer anymore. Over the past 2 years, I'd been lead consultant on a $120 million mixed-use development project in Dubai. Glass towers, sustainable design, international recognition. I'd recently been approached by a major global architecture firm to join as a senior partner, but I didn't broadcast it on social media, didn't brag at family dinners, because there were never any family dinners for me. I kept my success private, not out of shame, but because I'd learned my family only showed up when they wanted something. I'd also been invited to speak on a panel at an international design summit in Singapore next month. One of the co-panelists, a billionaire real estate developer and philanthropist named Victor Harrington, known for transforming skylines across 3 continents. I hadn't met him yet, or so I thought. During dinner service, the silver-haired man approached my table. Mind if I sit? His voice was calm, measured. I looked up and recognized him. Victor Harrington. Of course, I said. He sat down like we were old friends. I've been looking forward to meeting you, Grace. I've seen your portfolio. Dubai project was brilliant. I kept my composure, barely. Thank you. That means a lot coming from you. He smiled. I'm an old college friend of the groom's father, but I'm here partially because I'd heard you might attend. I raised an eyebrow. I wanted to confirm your participation in the Singapore summit and discuss a potential collaboration. We talked shop, quietly, professionally. I was articulate, confident, a side of myself my family had never seen. Across the room, Lauren was watching. Her eyes narrowed. Trevor muttered to Daniel, "Who's that guy talking to Grace?" Daniel shrugged. "Probably some vendor she knows." Lauren couldn't stand it. She walked over. Fake smile plastered on. "Grace, sweetie, you don't need to bother the guests." Victor raised an eyebrow. "Bother?" Lauren tried to steer him away. "She's just my sister. I'm sure you'd rather speak with—" Victor cut her off. Coolly. "Actually, I came here specifically to speak with Grace." Lauren stammered. "Oh, I didn't... I mean..." Victor handed me his card. "Let's finish this conversation tomorrow. Breakfast at the Langham?" I nodded. "I'll be there." He stood, shook my hand, and walked away. Lauren stared at me. "What was that about?" I stood, smiled. "Wouldn't you like to know?" The next morning, I met Victor at the Langham. We sat in a private corner of the restaurant. He laid out the proposal, a 3-year partnership. I'd be lead design consultant for his firm's new sustainable housing initiative across Southeast Asia. Contract value, $2.3 million, plus equity options. He respected my work, my vision, my integrity. He mentioned, casually, that he'd overheard Lauren and Trevor's comments at the wedding. You handled it with more grace than they deserved, he said. Pardon the pun. I signed the NDA and preliminary contract right there. When I returned to the hotel lobby, wedding guests were checking out. Lauren, Daniel, and Trevor were near the concierge desk, chatting, laughing. Lauren spotted me. She approached with fake sweetness. So, who was that man you were talking to? I kept my tone even. Victor Harrington. Daniel froze. Wait, the Victor Harrington? The developer? I nodded. We're finalizing a consulting contract, multi-year. He's asked me to co-lead a project across 4 countries. Trevor scoffed. Yeah, right. I pulled out the signed NDA and preliminary contract. Showed them the letterhead. Victor Harrington Global Enterprises. Lauren's face drained of color. Daniel tried to recover. That's amazing, Grace. We should celebrate. I cut him off. You called me a nobody 2 days ago, Daniel. You wanted free work from me and insulted me when I said no. I looked at Lauren. You've spent years making me feel small, excluding me, erasing me. Her voice shook. I didn't mean... Yes, you did. You all did, and I let you. But I'm done now. A nearby guest overheard, whispered to another. Word spread fast. Trevor tried to backtrack. We were joking, Grace. You're too sensitive. No, I'm finally clear. I walked toward the exit. Victor was waiting by a car outside. He nodded at me. I didn't look back. But I knew Lauren was watching through the glass doors. Speechless. Over the next weeks, I blocked Lauren and Daniel on social media, declined their calls. Brooke sent a guilty apology text. I responded kindly, but kept my distance. I moved forward with Victor's project. My career skyrocketed. 6 months later, I was featured in Architectural Digest. Lauren saw it. She tried to reach out. I didn't respond. I realized I'd spent years waiting for their approval, their acknowledgement. I didn't need it anymore. For once, their silence didn't hurt me. It freed me. If you've ever had to stand up to family betrayal, hit subscribe and tell me your story. I read every single comment and I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Drop your location below. Your story matters. Don't let anyone make you feel invisible. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one.